Hi, everybody.
There's nobody here.
There's nobody here.
Wait a minute. You have to post the link to tell them where to go.
Ah.
I love you.
I love you too.
Everybody loves you.
That should do it. Okay.
We need to make a new Patreon post as well because I'm not getting any kind of notification that there's a new link.
I took out the old video there and put the new one in. Is that not working?
It didn't give us... before I got a notification saying, hey, Bobsheaux just posted this on Patreon. I didn't get anything this time.
Damn it.
You just say updated link or something.
Yes.
As a whole new post. We're gonna get it. Don't worry. Everybody's gonna have a good time.
No, that is not it. That is it. Why the hell does it go to /live events? It's so not helpful.
Because YouTube sucks. You don't have any, you have music playing?
Yes.
Is it copyright music?
It's, Kevin MacLeod stuff.
Okay. Well, not a guarantee. It's a better chance.
Yes.
He got dinged for posting his own stuff.
Of course he did.
Which was royalty free.
How does that even
Copyright
work?
free.
YouTube, we really need you to stop sucking, okay?
I still have not gotten any kind of notification.
Well, it's live, you should have.
I'm going to my email. There we go. It's a Google Calendar notification, that's not it. Nope.
How's it looking?
Looks good.
Visual
Much
quality's
better
good?
bitrate, but there's nobody here. I don't know what to do.
I need to go into my other stream and say, hey, go here.
Okay, I can do that. It's video unavailable. This video has been removed by user.
And you got no notification that this new stream has just started.
Mm-mm.
Nobody's showing up.
No.
No Facebook notifications? Or Twitter pop-ups?
Nope.
Why not? This makes no sense.
There, I just got it. I just got it.
You just got it.
Just got it. The Patreon notification. Two watching.
Two watching.
Okay. That's what it was. The notification was delayed going out. I'm sorry that you streaming from YouTube is so user-friendly these days. Oh. Hi, Bradley.
Hello, Bradley. Yeah, who do we have in channel so far?
Bradley says he sent you 4 storybooks from 2 different vendors. Have you gotten them yet? He's gotten several books. Hi, Elizabeth.
All of which were unnamed, or didn't have any sender attributed to them. So
Right.
it's possible I did get your books, but I don't know.
But thank you.
Yes, but thank you anyway.
Did you, do you remember any of the titles, Bradley? Because he did some unboxing videos, he just hasn't gotten to post them yet.
Play catch up here.
Hey, he's a lot closer to being caught up on unboxing than he ever has been before, so...
I have empty floor space where there was once mail. Experiencing lag issues?
Maybe a little bit. Oh
dear.
yeah, definitely between Skype and YouTube. Always.
Sorry,
Still got Bradley and Elizabeth. I think we still got Bradley and Elizabeth. I think somebody got bumped because now there's only 2, me and somebody else.
But we must continue waiting because we don't know if anyone else has gotten the super late notification that, hey, this is working now.
I know.
And what did I do differently this time? No idea.
We're going to write down the steps. It will be okay. It will get easier.
Keep telling ourselves that.
Henry's Quest, ABC 3PO. Oh yeah, he got those. Baby Loves Aerospace Engineering and Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Yes, we did get those. Thank you so much. I'm going to enjoy reading those.
Especially ABC 3PO. Man, we had to look at a couple of those just because it was so cool. That was awesome. Thank you, Bradley.
Oh, so sad that the C-3PO on the cover is now outdated. He's got his red arm that he wanted to show off in The Force Awakens, but come The Last Jedi, it's just gold again. Oh, do you want to know where I got my red arm? No, 3PO, nobody cares. Oh.
Oh.
I'll just go back to my gold arm then, shall I?
Hello, Matt. Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Why are you still saying 2 watching? That can't 3 watching now. Okay.
It says so many people are watching, but is there another way of seeing how many people are in chat?
I don't believe their names.
But are you, like, seeing other people typing in there?
Just 3. Bradley, Elizabeth, and Matt.
I should probably be looking at this myself, huh? Let's see.
But no. I'm doing the chat.
Well,
but
yeah.
with me, there should be 4.
Should
So
be
I don't
4.
know what's going on with that.
Hmm.
Like you said, YouTube is so user-friendly.
Of course it is. Hmm.
Typing on the Patreon post.
Gotcha.
And forgetting how to spell.
Happens to the best of us.
La-di-da-di-da. Are we ready to hear about some girl power?
Oh, yes.
We don't need no man.
Wait, see, people. Shall we start delving into Power to the Princess? Dun dun dun!
You people. Oh, I'm sorry. I got no sleep last night. I apologize for yawning.
That's okay. We all know that girl power is boring anyway.
The way that a lot of the things that you're doing for Girl Power Month is depicted, yeah, it's pretty boring or offensive. Anyway, we're waiting just a couple more minutes to give everybody a chance to, anybody else that gets the email, to come on over. Come on over. Y'all come back now.
What if princesses didn't always marry Prince Charming and live happily ever after? Well, okay, I don't suppose they have to marry Prince Charming, but they didn't live happily ever after? That kind of sucks. I mean, doesn't everybody want to live happily ever after, whatever that may mean?
No.
No?
That's a construct of the patriarchy. I want to be miserable, damn it.
Okay. So, you want to be miserable, but you don't want to be miserable as inflicted by the patriarchy.
Right.
Just as long as it's misery on your own terms.
Exactly.
Freedom of choice, I guess. Oh boy. I didn't see this before, but there is a foreword. Shall we read this?
Yes. What voice do you want to do it in?
Good question. Any words from the audience?
Does anyone have a voice suggestion for him to read the foreword in the front of the book?
By the
Thank you for
author.
joining us, Anthony.
Yeah, hi Anthony.
Give him just a second for the lag to catch up. In just a minute, I'm going to randomly pick something. Ah! We have the first suggestion, and it's a good one. Let's do Tim Curry reading the foreword.
The first paragraph of the foreword there's
Okay.
quite a
I
bit
didn't know how long it
reading.
was.
Oh yes, we got 2 pages to get through here.
Oh my god, a foreword?
Yes, and on these 2 pages we have images of several of our female leads, all who have very prominent jaws. Not sure what that's about, but okay. Dear reader, a few months ago I had the pleasure of attending the Noble Monarch Jubilee, a special conference for leaders from fairy tales to meet, share success, and swap ideas. It was there that I met some of the princesses featured in this book. Tim Curry met some princesses. Okay. Belle, undercover agent of the Fairyland Police, spoke on a panel with Cinderella about income equality and crime prevention. Aurora, otherwise known as Sleeping Beauty, and Snow White gave a talk about body image and the science of sleep. Rapunzel gave a sneak peek of her cutting-edge inclusive design tools. The programming was top-notch and highlighted the hard work of these royal leaders, their fun personalities, and their amazing potential. However, it was the conversation away from the spotlight that captured my attention. After the book signing session, I overheard the princesses talking among themselves. Keep going, or a new voice?
We have 2 other voice suggestions, so I was just waiting for you to let me know that you needed one.
I think we need one now.
Boris Karloff.
Boris Karloff while speaking in the words of a princess. Wonderful. I wish our fans knew the truth about us, said Sleeping Beauty. I know, it's so annoying, Belle the Brave complained. Everyone thinks we just marry princes and live happily ever after. You're telling me? I'm tired of autographing glass shoes. That's not what being a princess is about, agreed Cinderella.
Autographing glass shoes?
Are glass shoes in ready supply? And sorry, Cinderella, that's kind of what you're known for. I mean, life of servitude, you're granted this pretty dress and a couple of nice shoes to go to the ball. Prince says, hey, I should get to know you better. I want you to be my bride. Okay, thank you. That's your story. Isn't it?
Girl power. Are you ready for a new voice?
I'll finish up this last line or two with Karloff.
Okay.
But how could we show people more of who we really are? Asked the little mermaid, who I guess was out of water. As the princesses talked, I could tell there was something missing from their stories. I think I might just be able to help you, I interrupted. I am an author, and if you're interested, I could write a book about you. Oh god, it's a self-insert fanfic.
This book has nothing to do with Disney. Some of the names are similar only because they were public domain when Disney made those movies.
Yes.
So, he's not going to get in trouble with Disney for doing this, nor will the author who wrote this book. Who is the author that wrote this book? We forgot to say that.
It is written by a name I am going to mispronounce probably. Vita or Vita Murrow.
Vita.
Vita? Vita?
Yeah, Vita.
Okay, Vita Murrow. And illustrated by Julia Barreciartu.
That's a hard name to say.
Barreciartu. I don't know. Yes. Anyway.
Ready for a new voice?
Next voice, yes.
John Cleese.
Luckily for me, the princesses were into the idea. That day, we talked a lot about their stories and what it means to be a princess. They told me that a princess is a person who seeks to help others, is open to learning new things, and who looks for ways to add purpose to their own lives and to the lives of those around them, namely city walks.
Stephen Hawking.
Over the following months, I interviewed the princesses to discover their unique stories. Each one told me about where they were from, and of a time when they or a family member or friend faced a big challenge. Often there was magic or mystery, sometimes a daring adventure or a quest, and always funny moments and surprises too. It is just so amusing. Ha 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 ha.
Oh my goodness.
No offense, Mr. Hawking.
How's your Dustin Hoffman?
Terrible. Pass.
Okay, pass. Got it. Okay. Alright, Bradley says there's a SW name, Barra CR2. I don't know what that means.
Star Wars? Maybe? I don't know.
Maybe there's a Star Wars name. Bera CR2? I don't know.
Not ringing any bells, sorry.
Sorry. Ba-dum. That's a good one. How about some Alan Rickman?
Yeah. What struck me the most was that every princess I met reminded me of someone I knew. My friends, my family, people I've worked with. Athletes and artists, teachers and scientists, parents and kids. Wow, athletes and artists, teachers and scientists. It's almost like the presence of princesses did nothing to stop these people from meeting their dreams and goals.
Weird.
Almost like the princesses aren't dangerous in their outdated stories.
Who is Phil Hartman?
Phil Hartman is most notably famous for appearing on Saturday Night Live, but you may remember him as the voice of Troy McClure from The Simpsons.
Alright, we'll do some Phil Hartman. Or are you done with the forward?
We're still not done there yet. I'm still in the middle of my recommend phase, if you don't mind. I believe the characters in the princesses' stories will remind you of a few people you know. Maybe the princesses make the same mistakes, or have the same triumphs, take the same risks, or face similar challenges. Thank you. Now let's wrap this up with a little bit of Phil Hartman. Now that their stories have been retold, turn the pages and get reacquainted with these powerful princesses. Maybe, like I did, you'll recognize some of your own story too. Signed, Vita Murrow.
Uh-huh.
All right, so
what's our first story?
Our first story is, and apparently this is her name, since this is how she's referred to in that forward, Belle the Brave.
Belle the Brave. Our first paragraph shall be done in the voice of Jafar.
Once upon a time, in a sunny French province, there lived a girl named Belle. Belle the Brave, to be precise, because Belle was fearless. What is fearless? Fearless is breathing deeply when you have to get a shot at the doctors. Fearless is walking proudly through a tangle of spider webs. Fearless is jumping from high rocks into cold water. And in Belle's case, fearless meant venturing into a scary forest when no one else would even consider it. The place was called the Forbidden Forest, after all.
Remember, lag, you have to tell me if you're ready for another voice.
Pardon me, I am ready for another voice.
John Ratzenberger.
It all started one bright and cheery day when Belle's father had to go on a trip. Each of his daughters had a special request. "Can you bring me back a set of paper and paints?" asked one. "Winter is coming. I'll have a warm hat if you spot one," asked the other. "Belle, what can I bring you?" her father asked. But Belle was busy, studying her map of the Forbidden Forest. You know me, nothing special. Maybe a flower."
Okay, I'm pretty sure that you said no Mel Gibson.
No Mel Gibson, no, sorry.
Mel Gibson is not in his wheelhouse. Gotcha. And so the next one is Mickey Mouse.
Oh, Mickey. How ironic.
The sisters happily waved their father on his way, but after a few days passed and their father hadn't returned, they began to worry. Days turned into a week, and finally Belle realized she alone would need to go in search of him.
Why? Don't want to get your sisters or anyone from the village to help with that, or... No?
Because she's Belle the Brave.
Uh-huh. Does being
Brave
brave...
and foolhardy are the same things, don't you know?
I was gonna say, does brave also mean stupid?
For among her sisters, she was the best tree climber, cobweb walker, and rocky ledge jumper. Plus, she had been working on her Forbidden Forest map, and this was just the opportunity to try it out.
Working on your Forbidden Forest map? Are you just drawing this up as you go?
Sounds like it.
I don't think that's how maps work. Alright, next
who's
voice.
Charlie McCarthy?
Charlie McCarthy is a ventriloquist dummy whose voice I hadn't even attempted before, and I probably wouldn't have that good of a handle on, so pass. Sorry.
Okay, and how's your Johnny Cash?
Sorry, pass.
Sorry, Elizabeth, you're pulling some real doozies out here. Eartha Kitt.
Are you sure you should be doing this? Fretted Belle's sisters. It's nearly dark, and what about the, monsters? Monsters, said Belle. I'll be perfectly fine. She gave her sisters a big hug and a kiss and set off, just as brave as you please, into the night. Soon the call of owls welcomed her as she ventured into the Forbidden Forest.
I love your Eartha Kitt.
It doesn't matter what she says, you always have to do this. There's a lot of that in her voice.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm choosing one. Let's have Dr. Teeth.
The trail grew thick and brambly, and Belle drew out a trusty map for guidance. An expert tracker and navigator, of course she is, Belle is quick to identify a route. But as luck would have it, a flash of lightning felled a tree right in her path. Probably one more sentence or two, that one was kind of short. Ugh, Belle moaned, because the tree was too big to climb over, even for her. However, the forest heard her sigh, and the next flash of lightning illuminated another path, leading away from the main one. All right, thought Belle. She'd always suspected the Forbidden Forest had some hidden good secrets. Like Deus Ex Machinas, baby!
How's your Tiny Tim?
Oh, Lord.
Belle followed this new path and was soon brought to the foot of a great and mysterious castle. It was shrouded in fog, veiled by glistening snow, and circled by an immense rose garden. It nearly took Belle's breath away, but she did manage to let out one word of marvel. I'm so happy, oh, baby is loving me.
Oh my goodness, that was hilarious.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you do Beast from Beauty and the Beast?
Ironic.
That's probably why it was suggested.
Belle climbed nearly 100 stairs to reach the door. As she leaned against it to catch her breath, the mighty latch gave way, and the door swung open to reveal a great hall. It was dark and freezing cold without a soul in sight. Belle stepped inside and was just about to call out when the door closed behind her with a great thud, and a large shadow took its place.
Kelsey Grammer?
As Belle turned around, she could see that the shadow belonged to an enormous creature, overgrown and clumsy, with terrible posture and likely terrible breath. A beast, really. Belle could also make out someone's feet behind the beast, so she called out, "Papa, is that you?" An exhausted heap of a man was collapsed at the beast's feet. Belle could see that her father was weak and sick. Also, that he was clutching a once lovely stem of roses. "Gracious!" exclaimed Belle to the beast. "Can't you see he's unwell? Don't just stand there, help me out!" Really?
Demanding, isn't she?
Yes, and very blasé about this giant hulk of a monster standing in front of her. No,
She just...
no cry in terror? Not even an eep?
I don't think so, because she's Belle the Brave.
Ugh, she's already telling him off.
Taming the Beast, Taming the Beast.
Yeah. Oh my
Nicolas
god.
Cage.
And the caption is the icing on the cake. Don't you threaten me! Mm-mm.
Oh no.
Ugh. Next voice.
Nicolas Cage.
Belle pulled her father up and found him a soft chair to sit in. She hurried him to the hearth to begin making a fire. "What are you doing?" she said to the beast, who was standing there like a stunned statue. "Bring in some dry wood, would you?"
Oh my goodness.
I'd like you to leave," the beast bellowed, "but your father was sneaking around on my property, and I'm not one for guests. He is now my prisoner." The shouting stirred Belle's father. "Belle, what on earth are you doing here?" he gasped. "Get out while you can. This is no place for you." Next voice.
Popeye.
Yeah, I'll be the judge of that. I got this man sitting from your rose garden. Here the beast rode as he pulled Belle's father to his feet. "So one of you is going to pay for this with your freedom."
Jar Jar Binks. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, no, you sir, don't threaten me. Bishop back. Put my father down right now. The astonished beast let Belle's father fall back into the chair. Belle got right into the beast's face. "Now here's my counter-offer," she said. "You let my father go, and I'll stay right here to repay his debt."
I love Jar Jar.
Ugh.
Christopher Walken.
And so it was agreed Belle would stay on as a guest of the beast. Thought she was supposed to be his prisoner if he said that he needs somebody's freedom, but whatever. Lost my place. Wow. There it is. As days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, it wasn't all cupcakes and sprinkles, but it also wasn't all thorns and nettles either. It was true. The beast was a real grouch and terrible host, and kept himself to himself. Oh no. Yet Belle knew things weren't always as scary as they might first appear. Oh no, someone is keeping to himself. How scary.
No. Okay. Can you do Conan O'Brien?
Pass.
Yes. Okay. The next one is Tom Servo.
One day, both the Beast and Belle arrived in the pantry at the same time for a snack. They reached for the cookie butter at just the same time, and the Beast, in a gentler mood than normal, for absolutely no reason apparently, quickly withdrew his hand and made to the living room. And made to leave the room. "Wait," Belle said. "Grab me a spoon. We'll split it." The Beast hesitated at the door, and then, to Belle's surprise, turned around, spoon in hand. They sat together, enjoying the cookie butter to the last dollop, and finding surprisingly that they had lots to talk about.
Cookie butter is good. Just saying. It's really good.
Sure, but that's their common ground.
Don't worry, Bradley, we don't worry about PC. He loves doing that one. Next one is suggested was Crotty Robot.
"Maybe we should do this again sometime," said the Beast shyly. Belle smiled. They kept the cookie butter tradition week after week. In one of their sessions, it turned out that the Beast was a great swing dancer.
Great swing dancer?
Really? This horrible antisocial prince who thought only of himself and shunned everyone around him to the point where he had to be turned into a hideous monster to be taught a lesson is a swing dancer.
Because princess.
Norman Krasner catchphrase on 3, 2, 1. Backwards. Ugh.
Oh my goodness.
He taught Belle, and they had hours of fun in the ballroom. Of course they did. Next one.
Gaston.
One day, the Beast came to Belle with a most unusual request. I think I need a haircut, he said. Spending time with you has helped me feel so much better about myself, and I think I'd like to look better too. Why, of course, said Belle. Then when she finished with the Beast, he had a dashing coif complete with a bun, groomed beard, and even trimmed eyebrows. Oh God, they gave him a man bun.
Might as well just castrate him and get it over with. Okay, ready for the next one?
Sure, why not?
Apu.
The Apu voice must live on!
I said don't worry about being PC, he loves to do this one.
I love it, exclaimed the Beast. And I love you, he added. Belle was pleasantly surprised, for she too loved the Beast. Well, that sure was quick. But not as surprised as she was by what followed, for after the Beast spoke, a great flash of light filled the room, as though a firework had been set off. Tiny dazzling bubbles of light rained down around them, and as they fell upon the Beast, he was transformed into... Ta-da! A Bobsheaux? No, he turned into just a regular guy. What? Said Belle.
Is that really in the book?
It really says that. It really says, what?
Oh, man.
Spoken like he, she's Batman and Superman.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
This is embarrassing.
Oh, I thought you were just embellishing.
I wish I was. I wish I was.
Alright, you ready for the next one?
Next voice.
Dinobot.
The Beast looked sheepish. I guess I have some explaining to do, he said. Some time ago, I was a prince and the victim of a curse. But before you feel sorry for me, I deserved it. I didn't always think about other people. In fact, sometimes I didn't even see past my own nose. I guess you could have called me selfish, offered Belle. Oh, I was more than selfish, and it caught up with me. One day, a fairy arrived at the palace and needed my help. I, of course, couldn't be bothered. When I turned her away, she turned me into a beast.
Velociraptor mode. Next voice.
Who is Boris Bednov?
Boris Badenov is one of the main villains from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, okay.
That sounds a bit harsh, said Belle. Curses never helped anyone. I don't know, kind of helped turn Beast's life around, don't you think? He just said how horrible he was, but then this happened to him, and then you came into his life, and I don't think you coming into his life would have meant anything if he wasn't a beast. Just saying.
Next voice?
She said I would return to my true self when I could see the good in others, and then find someone who could see the good in me. Prince continued. Oh, that's nice. He's not Beast anymore, he's just Prince.
Prince.
Next voice.
Lumiere.
Belle nodded. Well, now you've changed back. Are you going to miss being a beast? There were some pretty cool things you could do. Not like the book bothered to tell us any of those things, of course. I'm glad to be myself again, but I learned a lot being a beast, and those lessons will stay with me. I hope you'll stay with me too, the prince said hopefully.
I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be, said Belle. But first I'd like to confront this fairy you speak of. Curses are a crime best left in the past, and she should be held accountable.
What?
I don't
Belle's
know.
gonna go get the fairy okay. Olaf, the snowman from Frozen.
Oh, God.
I love Josh Gad.
In the morning, the prince helped Belle map out a journey to find the fairy. If the prince knows where the fairy is, why doesn't he just seek revenge himself?
Because he's dumb. He's, male.
Right,
course.
sorry. I keep forgetting that, because... Case in point. Once again,
Okay.
she set off into the forbidden forest, which now felt like home. Why? Belle's sharp navigating instincts brought her quickly to the fairy, who reluctantly went with Belle into the Fairyland police. And we're done. How was that book?
That's the end?
No, I'm...
Okay. I was my God.
Okay, we're done. This is stupid.
The Fairyland Police. This is power to the princess, baby.
Ugh. Next voice.
The next voice is Andy Griffith.
Next.
Pooh Bear.
As Belle made to leave the law enforcement station, a high-ranking detective called out to her. "Hey there, was it you who solved the curse at the Beast's castle?" "Why, yes," said Belle, reaching for the door. "That cold case eluded us for years. I couldn't get a single detective to brave the grounds. May I ask, weren't you at all afraid?" she pressed. "Afraid of what?" asked Belle. "The giant beast in the haunted castle over there!" I mean, I'm sorry, but look at this guy. Is he not still a little bit beastly? Does he not look kind of scary? At all? No? Ugh.
Oh, goodness.
Fine, be brave, if that's in your name for whatever reason. There's a difference between brave and stupid. Again, going back to the Green Lantern movie, which really gets a far worse rap than it deserves, fear is not knowing fear. It's recognizing fear, but still facing it anyway. That is brave right there. It's okay to acknowledge that the beast is scary. That's the point. Ugh. The detective smiled. "Can you stay for a minute for some honey? I think we have a job you'd be perfect for." Of course. And, of course, the fairies with magical powers are too afraid of the beast. Next voice.
Waspinator.
From that day forward, armed with a badge, her bravery, and generous spirit, the Bellbot worked tirelessly at the Fairyland Protection Office of Restorative Justice to protect the community from curses. She reached out to misunderstood magical creatures and helped build bridges between all corners of the kingdom.
Are we on to the next story, or is it still going?
We got like 2 more little paragraphlets.
Okay. The next suggestion was Top Cat.
Sorry, this is kind of interesting. She reached out to misunderstood magical creatures. But, not men who get stigmatized as being horrible brutes and rapists and such. Not them. They're fine. Yeah. Next voice, sorry.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Belle was given the undercover name of Beauty, because it's not like that's her name or anything. Because of her ability to see the beauty in everyone and everything. At home in the castle, she saw Prince and continued to enjoy jars of cookie butter. As their affection grew, the castle and gardens flourished too. One day, when the roses were in peak form, Belle mused, these gardens will be perfect for a wedding. The prince agreed. I know just the two people to celebrate, he added with a wink. So Belle and Prince were married right there in that lovely spot shortly thereafter, and that is how Belle became a princess.
Did he take her name since he didn't have one of her own? He doesn't have one of his own?
His name is Prince Bell.
Prince Bell. Prince Bell the Brave.
Yes, Prince Bell the Brave. And that was the story of Bell the Brave. Ugh.
Oh boy. What a tale it was.
Oh, yes.
Girl power.
Girl power.
So what's next on our reading list?
Next is The Butch Mermaid.
What's the real title?
The Little Mermaid.
Butch Mermaid. Shame.
Look at her!
The next suggestion for voice was Top Cat / Hokey Wolf / Phil Silvers.
Don't know many of those names, I'm sorry.
Okay. Then the next is Patrick Stewart.
Oh dear, this is a slightly longer story here. Let's see. This story takes place in the depths of the ocean, in the kingdom of the Sea King. The Sea King was a commandeering merperson, a creature that is part person and part fish. In addition to his small but powerful kingdom, he ruled his 6 daughters. Their mother had died in an accident with a ship, so the king's mother lived with them and helped to raise the princesses. Next.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
The accident that took the king's wife broke his heart, and sadly he was put back together. With fear. Thank you, smartphone. He had no tolerance for land dwellers, and cautioned his daughters against learning anything about their customs. He often said cruel things about their above-sea neighbors, calling them dangerous, destructive, greedy, and foul. Okay, is he wrong? Humans aren't worthy of your attention. He'd bluster any time the princesses showed interest in the human world. Next voice.
No more voice suggestions. It's time to stop the stream. Goodbye. This was fun.
Wait, what?
Gilbert Gottfried.
I'm sorry, baby. You knew this was coming.
I know. Who suggested that? Or Anthony? We gotta have a talk, Anthony.
Yeah. From time to time,
My
refuse.
eardrums are bleeding.
Can I please finish talking?
Not if you're gonna talk like that. Okay, go ahead.
From time to time, refuse, flotsam, and relics of the human world from above drifted down to the Sea Kingdom. The king would make a big show of destroying these pollutants and invited audience to watch as he bashed shipwrecks and buried treasures and ranted about the risks, dangers, and ills that lay above. Because it distressed their father so, the princesses made it their business to keep the sea vegetation and plants healthy and free from the litter that crept down from the human world above them. Oh, joy! So it's got an environmental message on it to boot! Oh, goody!
No, Anthony, I do not forgive you. No. Bad Anthony. No biscuit. Please, are we ready for the next voice?
Yes, but after that little bit, I do need to point out that I'm suddenly now noticing that the mer people are using their various tritons and such for the sake of picking up the litter, which also includes six-ringed soda can holders. Yeah.
Those things are terrible.
Gotta cut those up, people. Next voice.
How's your Ursula?
Ooh. I would not want to try her. I cannot do her justice.
Captain Barbosa.
The youngest of the Sea King's daughters was named Marisha. Though she was the youngest, she was a natural leader.
Of course she was.
No pearls for this princess. She wore a fancy coat with tails, a tuxedo, that she salvaged during reef cleanup.
So your father has this horrible anti-human thing going on, and you think the best course of action is to strut around in human clothing. Okay.
In fact, Marisha had a solid collection of stuff from the world above, squirreling away her discoveries and souvenirs before her father took note. Sometimes Marisha's grandmother would tell her about the past, when the world of the mer people and the world above were connected, but they had to keep their secret tucked to themselves, because there was no telling how the Sea King would react if he knew.
Next voice.
The next voice is John Lovitz.
Over the years, more and more litter from the world above plagued the Sea Kingdom. Machines and oddities sank into schools and other buildings. Ooze and slime clouded the waters. Many plants withered, and marine life struggled, and some mer people even restored to wearing special masks. Marisha and her sisters found it hard to keep up with her cleanup projects!
Thank you.
Oh, goodness. I'm not sure who R. Lee Ermey is.
Have you seen Full Metal Jacket?
No.
He was also the voice of Sarge from Toy Story. He is...
Okay.
because... Sorry, little sidebar here. Stanley Kubrick wanted realism in Full Metal Jacket, so he went out and got a real drill sergeant to play the drill sergeant in that movie, Arlie Ermey. He had no acting experience to his credit, but because that's who he was, that's who his character is, that's who he was in his entire acting career until he died. His entire career was, "Holy Jesus, you are the worst piece of crap I have ever seen in my life! You should go home right now!" Etc.
Neat.
Let's see.
So, do him.
Yes. The princesses urged their father, the Sea King, to venture above and learn more about the problem. If the land dwellers knew of problems that they were causing, maybe they could find a way to make the litter stop. But his heart was closed, and his mind was shut tight as well. Tight as my ass on a hot summer morning. You get down and give me 20, soldier!
Inigo Montoya.
Why would those creatures ever want to help? He bellowed. They care not a drop for us. The king's anger sent great storms from the sea up to the surface of swirling sand, with raging currents and algae blooms. When Marisha was nearly grown up, her grandmother told her of how, long ago, every mer person before their 16th birthday was permitted to visit the land above. There they could share ideas, trade goods, and learn about the human world. Marisha knew that this was what she wanted for her birthday. A reinstatement of the old ways.
Point of order. Isn't the point of this book to kind of deviate from the old ways?
She was confident that if she knew what the world up there looked like and how it worked, she could come back with a clean ocean plan.
Okay. So it's not just about a curiosity of the human world anymore, or even getting that human that you're not supposed to be in love with. It's about cleaning the ocean. All right. And just like the story of the Titanic is actually about saving the whales. Next voice.
Jay Leno.
Next.
Lewis Black.
On the morning of her birthday, she tidied her crop to do, smoothed her jacket, and went to her father to appeal to him to visit the land above. It is really hard to read this part of the book because you got black text on top of some kind of a deep blue color here. This is really hard to read. She laid out her reasons calmly and clearly, but her father was not having it. Marisha could neither soften his heart nor open his mind, and he forbade her from going to the surface. Next.
That is going to be hard to read. Yeah, I just saw it pop up on YouTube. That's how much the lag there is.
Ugh.
And yeah, that wasn't a very good design. How's your Tommy Lee Jones?
But Marisha was defiant. The sea meant the world to her, and she would do whatever it took to restore the balance between the worlds joined at the horizon. So that night, Marisha snuck away and made her way to the surface. As Marisha popped her head out of the water, she spied an incredible sight. A three-masted ship sailed just a short distance away, and a great party was just underway. It was a birthday party for a princess just like her, complete with splendid fireworks. Another princess, of course.
Sebastian?
With the sky illuminated, Marisha swam closer. She caught the princess's eye. "Hi, I'm Princess Melody," the land princess said, crouching on the deck to shake Marisha's hand. "Today is my birthday. Would you like to come aboard and join us?" "Really? That's your reaction, man. Not, holy crap, there's a lady in the water and she's part fish!"
Oh boy.
Jim Carrey's Grinch.
Marisha was caught off guard. She didn't expect such friendliness. From everything her father had suggested, she expected to be turned away. "I'm Marisha," she replied. "I'm sorry to interrupt your festivities. I'm a mer person. I've never seen anything like this." "Well, come aboard," Melody said. "Oh, sure, come up aboard, even though you've got no legs."
Good grief.
Next voice.
Scrooge McDuck.
"I wish I could, but I don't have legs," Marisha blushed. Well, there you go. That does pose a problem. I'll be right back. Melody zipped off to grab a cushion to sit on, and parked herself beside Marisha so the two could chat.
That's good.
Thank you.
La, la, la. Can you do Kenneth Mars as the mermaid's dad?
Well, see, he's a male, so I think they're trying to keep his part to a minimum. So not a whole lot of dialogue there. But Kenneth Mars? Okay. Or is the mermaid's dad a particular character?
I'm not sure. Just do some Kenneth Mars.
Wait a minute. It suddenly occurs to me how much King Triton in Disney's Little Mermaid sounded like Littlefoot's grandfather. Was Kenneth Mars King Triton? I gotta look that up now.
As soon as the lag catches up, I'm sure that Anthony can tell us. Anthony again.
Oh, Raven is not liking you today. Let's see. Search for Little Mermaid. Ah! I hit the 2018 remake. There's a 2018 remake? How the hell I missed that? A 4.2 out of 10.
Putting it on the list?
No! No, 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 no! 1989. There we go. Oh my god, that movie's 30 years old. Let's see. The cast is... Who do we got? Yeah, Kenneth Mars as Triton. I did not know that. Crazy.
Learn something new.
Okay, let's try him. Where were we? Melody shared all about her birthday traditions, her family, life at sea, and Marisha did the same. The two split a piece of birthday cake. Marisha had never tasted anything so delicious. Melody told her about the parts of the ship, and they had a good laugh about the term poop deck.
Really?
Really, book? You had to go there. This is why King Triton hates humanity. Unfortunately, while Marissa was getting to know Melody, her absence from the Sea Kingdom had been noted. When the Sea King discovered that Marisha had gone to the surface, he was livid. He stirred the seas with a terrible storm that soon arrived at Princess Melody's ship. Next, please.
Speedy Gonzalez?
Pass.
Okay. Albert Brooks.
Albert Brooks. The skies darkened, waves pitched the party ship, and rain hammered the deck. The partygoers ran to protect the ship from damage, and Melody sprang into action alongside her crew. Of course she did. Yeah, don't get the princess to safety or anything. No, she's got to be in the thick of it with everyone else. And why don't we just have entire naval fleets made of princesses? They know how to get the job done. Next voice.
I will leave it up to dealer's choice. One of the Jeff Dunham guys.
Marcia realized at once what had happened. She plunged back into the sea, hoping to stop her father, but as she swam below, she could see the ship was in grave danger, tossing and heaving, creaking and cracking. She got a better idea of how badly the ship was moving from underwater than above. Dumbass. Instead of continuing to the Sea Kingdom, Marisha hastened back to the surface to check on her fellow princess. Next.
Gollum.
While the other land dwellers filled a lifeboat, Marissa noticed Melody's out of reach, clinging onto a broken piece of deck that had split off her beloved ship in desperate needs of helpses. Marissa raced to the rescue and towed Melody to shore, just as the ship sank dramatically into the water. Once on dry lands, Marisha helped Melody recover, wringing out her hair, bringing seaweed snacks to restore her energy, and keeping her company till the search party arrived. Melody even snoozed on Marisha's shoulder. Isn't that precious?
That was good.
Ugh.
Humphrey Bogart.
When Melody stirred, Marisha had a million questions about life on land. It turned out Melody had just as many about life under the sea. They soon discovered they both had trouble getting through to their parents. Melody longed to explore and travel. She wished to catalog sea life and preserve its habitats, but her parents brushed off her interests as hobbies. Marisha spoke about the litter that plagued the sea and her ideas to address them. The two princesses' visions lined up perfectly. Of all the visions for them to line up with, they line into mine.
Yoda.
When the search party arrived, said goodbye the princesses did. Meet again they planned, but it would take some creativity and help. Upon returning to the sea, Marissa was in big trouble. Because she broke the Sea King's rules, grounded at her grandmother's place she was.
Billy Connolly.
Marisha told her grandfather all about her visit to the surface. Her grandmother had an idea and took Marisha to see the sea sorceress, Antia, who lived where the water pooled mysteriously. Marisha was nervous. The sorceress Antia was welcoming but peculiar. She explained that there was an old magic that could conjure up legs for Marisha, or permit her a few days as a human. Unfortunately, these spells required a great sacrifice,
like the loss of one's voice or life trapped as a barnacle. That would not do at all. Next.
Where was it? I'm sorry. Patrick Warburton as Kronk.
Instead, the three put their heads together and came up with an inspired invention. Marisha brought her collection of above-world debris, and Atia used her magic to form it all into an open-air aquarium rover. This allowed Marisha to keep her tail submerged while traveling in the human world. Yeah, because her tail being submerged in water is the issue.
Eric Cartman.
Ah, god damn it!
As soon as the finishing touches were put on the special vehicle, and the Sea King was away visiting another kingdom, up Marisha went. He found her way to Melody's kingdom, a great island palace beside a strange factory. Melody came out at once and greeted her friend. Marisha returned to the aquarium rover into land mode and drove up onto the island to meet her. There, Melody gave Marisha a tour of the grounds and palace. When they arrived at the factory, Marisha began to put the pieces together. The factory made wonderful goods that kept the palace in business, but released litter into the sea.
Oh, god damn it!
How's your Cheech Marin?
I wonder, ventured Melody, if we use the same methods that build your aquarium rover, perhaps we could make a similar kind of container to collect the litter. Then we could get rid of it properly, man.
That's a great idea, said Marisha.
Tommy Chong was on The Masked Singer. Are you guys watching that show? It is amazing.
The Masked Singer?
The Masked Singer, yes. These are celebrities that are singing in costume, and no one knows who they are until they lose, and then they lose the round, and then they're unmasked. And he was the pineapple.
What? Tommy Chong was the pineapple?
He was the pineapple.
I have no idea what that means, but it somehow surprises me in no way whatsoever.
He was really good. Can you do The Godfather?
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea, man?
Meanwhile, where the Marisha's cool aquarium rover got around. So cool, right? No, it literally says that. It says that people were thinking it was cool how it got around, and then it says, so cool, right? The storytelling at its finest. Well, the Sea King didn't think so. He overheard some mermaids talking about it in the kingdom he was visiting, and he was furious. Just at the moment the princesses were looking at the factory, the Sea King rose to the surface. Seeing two princesses together, he flew into a rage. He summoned a storm so fierce the sky crackled with lightning, and huge waves crashed down to the shore, putting both princesses in peril. In all the fury, the factory was struck by lightning, and the river of litter began to flow out toward the Sea King. On this, the day of his daughter's wedding.
Larry the Cable Guy.
But Melody was a skilled sailor. She jumped into the aquarium, clothes and all, and quickly steered the rover to create a barrier between the Sea King and the factory. As litter streamed out, Melody spotted a net among the debris and grabbed a hold of it. Marisha jumped in after her, and the two stretched out the net to stop the flow of litter into the ocean. Get it done!
Oh, goodness.
Oh no.
Me.
I don't do women's voices, but they always suggest you.
That's not what your Eartha Kitt said.
Touché. As the Sea King watched the two princesses work together, he paused. The storm subsided. He saw their selflessness, their shared mission, and their compassion for one another's worlds, and he began to cry happy tears. As his tears hit the water, They brought to the surface all the debris and waste that had sunk over the years. Well, that sure was easy. He called upon the sorceress, Antia, and together they fashioned all the old junk into a special barge that would take all the waste from the factory and recycle it into usable items. It was just that easy all this time.
Yep.
And no one thought of doing that before now.
Nope.
Ugh. Sorry, I
Took some girl power.
I need to reread this one sentence here. He saw their selflessness and shared mission, and their compassion for one another's worlds, and he began to cry happy tears, which, as we all know, turned into jelly beans.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you not familiar with Albie the Racist Dragon?
I've heard the song because you showed it to me, but no, I've never actually watched an episode of Flight of the Conchords. I only know the songs.
It's from that.
Business Time and Alfie the Racist Dragon.
It's business time. Next voice.
Droopy.
From that day forward, the two kingdoms were bonded together. The princesses lived side by side with Marisha beneath the surface in an undersea addition to the island palace. Melody and Antia fashioned a special dive suit so she could hang out with her sweetie below the tides.
Her sweetie.
Her sweetie.
Okay. Next.
Antonio Banderas has puss in boots.
Over the years, Melody took on oversight of the factory's clean water project, while Marisha focused her energy on brokering lasting peace between the Mer people and the Earth dwellers. It is so magical.
Oh, yes. Need another voice?
For this bold work, Marisha received the Fairyland Prize for Peace. Together with her father, the Sea King, she regularly visited schools to speak about overcoming prejudice. Okay, we get it. You're progressive. Next.
I'm laughing too hard to write. Oh, goodness. Do you get the idea? Do you understand the message?
Do you get it?
Oh my god.
Next voice. We got one more paragraph left.
Okay.
It won't stop.
Going out in style. Cool cat.
God. The princesses shared not only a vision for the future of their kingdoms, but also a vision for their lives together. Once the waters were clear again, the two were married in a lively and loving ceremony, in a lagoon where both mer people and humans could enjoy the merriment. Afterward, the sky was painted with magnificent fireworks, a joint gift from the two kingdoms to the newlyweds. Exquisite!
Oh.
Yeah, sure, marry a fish, that's fine.
Don't judge their love.
I'm judging their love! You know, in the original tale, at least they acknowledged that the whole human and merperson thing was kind of problematic. That was the whole point for Ariel turning into a human so she could try to be with the prince. I'm sorry that it's a bad idea to change yourself to be with a person that you love, unless you're a man, but that's kind of important. Person, fish. Someone in this wedding is protesting that, I guarantee you.
Y'all amuse yourself for just a minute. I'll be right back.
Uh-oh, what's up? Oh, she's back. Or she's gone. Something going on with her family, I suppose. It happens when you're a single mother with 2 kids. Gotta deal with them. I don't know. Or, ooh, knock on wood. I hope it's not having anything to do with the weather. Anyone who is in Oregon right now knows that, oh dear, there's a lot of bad weather going on right now. It was actually so bad that we couldn't get together on Monday because Skype was unavailable. They had no power. So, yeah, that sucked. Hope that's not what's going on now. But she was able to pause, so maybe it's just that more controllable. So, how are we all enjoying ourselves? I'm just going to look into chat here to see what's going on. Come on. Go to my channel. Am I able to... No, that's not working. Okay. Everything alright?
Yes, the dog was letting me know that Simon had neglected to feed her at 5.
Ugh.
Oh, I said my phone thing. Oops.
It's okay, nobody knows your real name. Right, Raven Fox?
That's right. So I had to go tell him to do that. So what is the next story that we're going to do?
The next story is Rapunzel.
Just a side note, Bradley, Fix-It Felix, and the other one was that you suggested, hang on, Robert Preston?
Robert Preston.
No, it's okay. Give me a minute. Bradley said Fix-It Felix and Robert Preston, both of which he's passed on.
Sorry.
Before, in a previous stream, so can't do those.
But yes, we've got Rapunzel next, followed by the Snow Queen.
Oh boy. Okay, are you ready for the first voice?
Yes, I am. What do we got?
Captain Hook.
Once upon a time, there lived a couple who were expecting a child. As is sometimes the case, the pregnant mother had an appetite for strange new things. The couple forever made extra trips to the market for a melon with fennel and sausages with frosting. Her favorite was Rapunzel, field greens, which she liked to mix with cheese spread. Any of this ringing a bell, Raven?
No!
It was never this crazy?
Greens with cheese. Well, I don't like cheese.
What is Rapunzel, anyway?
Apparently it was their type of field green.
Okay. When winter rolled around and the field greens were out of season, the expectant mother grew desperate. "Oh dear," she said one day, "if I don't get some Rapunzel, I don't think the baby and I are going to make it." Wow, drama queen.
Hey.
Yes?
I have to say, if you're pregnant and you want something, you must have it. Denying your craving, it will make you cry.
Give me the Rapunzel!
Next.
Yes. Doo-doo-doo. Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean.
But the couple were out of luck. For next door lived a kooky sorceress named Gothel.
Kooky?
They said kooky.
Kooky, okay. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Carry on.
She was often in a sour mood, and so they weren't on the greatest of terms. But being a sorceress, Gothel had an enchanted garden, and within the garden grew Rapunzel.
Yeah, she's grouchy because you call her kooky. You jerks.
Mark, you ready for the next one?
Sure.
Hamill, Joker.
In a moment of desperation, the couple climbed the wall after dark into Gothel's garden. They stole the Rapunzel greens so that the mother and baby could allay their cravings. But the following night, when the couple heaved themselves over the wall again, they came face to face with Gothel. Well, what do we have here? The offended sorceress said. You're worse than the animals. How could you climb into any garden like a thief and steal my favorite veggies? You owe me for this.
Wow. Wow, Hamill really did fit that passage perfectly.
He did.
Now some Ledger Joker.
Oh, the mother answered. Please, it's only because I fear for my well-being and that of my child. I can't find these greens anywhere else, and I crave them so badly. Gothel's mood softened, and she said, If things are as dire as you say, I will allow you to take as much Rapunzel as you want from my garden. The couple breathed a sigh of relief. Next.
Oh, goodness. James Earl Jones.
But under one condition. You must allow the child that you will bring into the world to be my apprentice. They will have magical powers from the garden, and will need someone to teach them how to harness them. And together we can rule the galaxy as mother and daughter.
Is that really in the book?
It's very sad that you have to ask that.
I mean,
it's not.
kooky. Come on.
Yes, kooky.
Anything's possible.
What?
Yeah, what?
Oh,
my
you don't
goodness.
threaten me.
Oh, gracious.
Yeah. Next voice.
How's your Mighty Mouse?
Bad. Pass.
Linkara.
Oh, jeez. It's awkward doing other reviewers. What if they're watching this?
They'd probably be very flattered.
The couple conferred and agreed that it was the only way for everyone to stay healthy and happy. Plus, the mother said hopefully, maybe it will improve our relationship as neighbors. Yeah, sure, take my baby, why not? Next.
Bonding. It will bond over the fact that you have my kid.
Of course.
I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry to say. Yzma? Yzma? I know who they're talking about, but I can't remember how to pronounce it.
Eartha Kitt. Do her again. Or another voice.
Oh, go ahead. It's a really good one.
When the baby arrived, it was a smart and active little girl with hair to spare.
When the baby arrived, it was smart and active. No. When it arrived, it was a worm.
They're not worms.
They're in their little grub stage. All they can do is just lie there and poop and cry. They're not smart, they're not active, and...
They can be very smart. I'll have you know, my eldest held their head up in the hospital, day one.
I will say that your little man was very strong.
That wasn't
Apparently.
my little man, that was my eldest.
You said eldest? Sorry, I heard youngest. Eldest, pardon me.
No, my youngest was happy to just go along with the flow, whatever happened. He didn't care. He wasn't in a hurry to talk. He wasn't in a hurry to walk. He just, when it happens, it'll happen.
The grub stage.
He was a little grubby. Yeah, he was a little bit grubby. But he was so happy. He was a happy baby.
Yes, it was a happy little grub. Smart and attractive little girl with hair to spare. Wow, that was an awkward delivery. I'm sorry. I have to mime this. All right, just one more push. She's coming. She's coming, and take this. She's still coming. Oh my God! Really?
That's terrible.
It is.
And now I have to wait for it to come up on YouTube.
Okay, back to the story. Or should I wait for a few seconds for you to laugh?
No, it's awkward. Anyway, Stromboli.
Sorry, we weren't done with Ismay here.
Oh, Ismay. Thank you.
The couple named her Rapunzel after the field greens that sustained her. Rapunzel grew up a child of the garden. She ran free, let her long hair down, and built archways with twigs and limbs to play underneath. When the winter weather brought Rapunzel indoors, she would pass the time braiding her hair and stacking things. She stacked boxes, cushions, jars, and cups to make towers and pillars. Her parents noted her interest in building and felled a tree to make her wooden building blocks.
Okay. Stromboli.
So Rapunzel wasn't imprisoned in a tower. She wanted to be an architect when she grew up.
Girl power.
Stromboli, okay.
When Rapunzel came of age, the family, as promised, sent their daughter next door to study under the guidance of the sorcerer Gothel.
Sent to next door to study under? No, she's her property now. That was the deal.
No, she was supposed to be her apprentice.
Oh yes, call it that.
Rapunzel's studies were to take place far away in a tall tower that stood in lush forest. It was the custom that the pupils of magic study in isolation until their powers were well mastered, for fear of magical blunders that could put others in danger. The tower Gothel selected was made from rare stone that the builders had run out of material before they could finish. It lacked a door and a stairway, but had a little tiny window at the very top.
That doesn't make any sense. They ran out of materials, so they didn't have a staircase. Okay, how did they reach the top as they were building it then? And they ran out of materials, so they don't have a door? Which would require less materials? Huh?
I love that you're trying to figure out these stories.
Sorry, if you're gonna rewrite them for a modern audience, you gotta make them work still. They say that they're practicing magic far off in the forest so that nobody gets hurt. Okay, say that for the safety of any random passerby or animal, there's no door. This special tower in which you practice magic is under quarantine. There. That works. It's bullcrap, but it works. Next voice.
Bradley Walker says, no way you know this one.
That's not the point of these, but okay.
Ed Kooky Burns.
Nope, you got me.
And then he said Fonzie before Fonzie. You talking about Henry Winkler's Fonzie?
Oh, Lord.
I'm not sure. Anyway, okay, so then he says, hey, if you're going to do other reviewers, how about Phalus?
Again with the Phalus.
Your Phalus is really good.
To get in, Rapunzel had to scale the stony exterior. Since she had splendid long hair, once atop the tower, she pulled her hair into a band and then let her long ponytail fall to the ground so the sorceress could climb up too.
Stan Lee.
This elaborate system meant that Rapunzel and the sorceress only went out one at a time, and the sorceress, as the teacher, took priority. When she wanted to enter, she simply stood below and called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." And Rapunzel would let her hair fall down like a great rope. It wasn't an ideal system, but it worked okay at first.
You're magic, and you're admitting to how this is an imperfect system. Nothing you want to do about that, Mr. Magic User Lady Pants? Just asking.
Girl power.
Yeah, girl power. You want to use some of it?
How's your Tom Arnold?
Pass.
Mr. Rogers?
In the tower, Gothel introduced Rapunzel to the mysteries of sorcery. Together, they tried to identify what effect the enchanted greens may have had on Rapunzel. The two experimented with shape-shifting, but Rapunzel remained herself, just a bit stiff. They tried their hands at healing, but Rapunzel just ended up with a bad case of food poisoning. Perhaps you could conjure animals, mused Gothel, but instead of beasts, the tower ended up filled with rainbow hard-boiled eggs.
Okay, that was very good.
You're not very good at this, are you, Gothel?
That was a good Mr. Rogers.
Thank you. Never tried him. and
Very good.
they had to be rainbow hard-boiled eggs because inclusion.
Groucho?
No.
Bruce Willis?
Pass. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Let me write that down. Okay. Voldemort.
Ugh. It has been too long since I saw the Harry Potter films. I forget exactly what he sounds like, but I can do Voldemort of
Sounds
sorts.
like he's got a sore throat.
That actually sounds very similar to what I was going to do, so okay, I'll just do that. I know the how it should have ended Voldemort rather nicely.
Heroes are so annoying. They tried magical skill after magical skill, but nothing worked. One evening, over a solemn pot of tea, while Gothel fretted about what to do next, Rapunzel spoke up. "May I make some improvements around the tower?" she offered. "Maybe if we had more space, it could make things easier for our work. I might even be able to create a space to have company, my parents, or perhaps a magic doctor."
She wants to play doctor.
I don't
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, one last sentence and we're done here.
I don't see why not, sighed the sorceress. I'm not sure what else to do. Plus, I'm getting a little weary from all the climbing, and I'm sure your hair could use a break.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
This author had an interesting idea, and then she wrote it, and it all fell apart.
Yeah.
This could have been good.
I guarantee you this had no editor. She wrote it herself, she edited it herself, she had no input from anyone else, and there it is.
And it shows.
Next voice.
Can you do a Charlie Sheen?
No.
Spock.
The following day, Rapunzel lowered herself on her hair and began to circle the tower. She spent the entire day asking Gothel to toss things up to her. "Can I get a sketch pad of graph paper and a ruler?" Rapunzel called up. "And a level and some string." "Goodness, what do you have in mind?" wondered Gothel. "I'm making a pendulum," Rapunzel replied eagerly. "I could use some chalk if we have it." A pendulum in this situation would be most logical. Next voice.
I am choosing Carl from Sling Blade.
As the sun set, Rapunzel called up to Gothel. "Can you toss down a canvas, tarp, and a blanket? I think I'll be camping out here. I'm on to something. I just need a little more time." "Well, in that case," Gothel said, "you need a warm fire and a basket of supper. This is a magic cauldron." Gothel conjured up some bright, warm lamp.
Is it mustard and biscuits?
Some mustard and biscuits and French fried potatoes. She sailed them down to Rapunzel on a parachute made from a cozy blanket. Yep.
Oh, goodness. Sean Connery.
In the morning, Gothel woke and peered out from the tower window to discover Rapunzel was already up and busy, drafting a plan for how to change the tower. "I think I can add an elevator up this side and other attachments to help the space breathe," Rapunzel shouted excitedly.
I love your Sean Connery.
Thank you, lass.
Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries.
Mm-mm.
Nope. Okay. Did you watch the Wild Thornberries?
No.
It was so good.
Was it?
Such a good show. You really missed out.
I guess.
Hey guys, let's make him review it.
Oh Lord, no. Ah.
Forrest Gump.
In the weeks that followed, the two forgot about trying to find Rapunzel's magic gift. Wait, magic gift? What? Did we skip something?
I don't know.
Are you talking
I
about
remember
forgetting
the
about?
magic gift.
Are you talking about forgetting to train her in magical skills? Again, no one edited this thing.
I think you left something out. Okay, her magical gift is what we're after now.
I guess. Instead, they worked tirelessly. They raised a pulley system and attached a bucket to create an elevator. Then they created an extension bridge from the tower to a new platform, which was to become the new guest room. Rapunzel sourced building materials from the forest, and Gothel used her magic to fell trees, mill timber, and even draw forth boulders from a nearby river so that they floated like bubbles through the air. If you can do all that, why can't you just snap a new guest room into existence, like with an infinity gauntlet or something?
Because then she wouldn't have anything to write about.
Ugh. It's the magic of plot convenient stupidity, of course.
Girl power.
When they were finished, the stones formed a massive enchanted escalator. You barely even know what stairs are!
You've been climbing hair. Why? All of a sudden you're going from
Now you've got escalator technology? What the hell? While an adjacent elevator ferried groceries and luggage. The fresh timber formed a treehouse that joined the tower via a suspension bridge. The top of the tower was elevated to reveal a stained glass room that let in natural light, and along each side of the tower was a trellis, which became a living garden to provide the tower with fresh vegetables and herbs. Yeah, I'm sure there were plenty of herbs in the creation of this book here. Next voice.
Elmo.
As the project neared completion, it happened that a prince was riding through the forest. As he approached the magnificent structure, he stopped in his tracks. The prince was blind, so he had heard the tower first.
No, he didn't. He heard the tower?
Is that what it says?
It said that he heard the tower because he was blind.
The prince is blind.
Yes, the prince is already blind, yes. He's not blinded later when the witch throws some briars in his face or something after so many visits to the princess here. No. He's already blind.
To prove that love is blind?
To prove girl
He's gonna
power.
fall in love with her and it has nothing to do with her looks?
I guess. I don't know.
It sounded incredible.
Again, no it didn't. It sounded like a tower. You know what towers sound like? It sounded like this. And we're done.
The prince took in the whir of the beast, the sway and creak of the bridge, and he felt the warm reflection of the stained glass cast on his skin, and asked his horse to lower him to the ground.
He felt the reflection of the warmth coming from the stained glass windows at the top of the tower before he felt any actual sunlight coming onto him? What?
The prince stepped off a and explored the amazing things that surrounded him. He felt the rope and bucket of the pulley. He rested his hands on the great floating boulders and strode beneath the shade to the tower.
Okay, next voice.
Oh, Elizabeth, how could you?
Oh no.
Can you do Beavis and or Butthead?
He like rode home and stuff. The senses of the stunning tower lingering in his mind.
God.
And he returned to the forest every day to listen to the goings on at the construction site.
Oh yeah, and there was like one time we was like standing behind a tree and he heard the sorceress approach her and say, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let that freaking air."
Dude, shut up.
Elizabeth, we are no longer friends. Okay.
Fire, fire! Ah!
Stop it! It's over, it's done, you did it. Moving on. Do you know who Tony Randall is?
I do not.
Okay. I don't either. Stinky from A&O.
As the future leader of the pack, Rapunzel let down her lovely hair, and tied it at the bottom was a golden key that clinked along the tower along the way down. The prince leaned in closer and listened carefully as the sorceress took the key, strode around to the garden trellis, and placed the key in a keyhole. With a turn of the key, the orbiting boulders stood to attention, and then in a dance with the breeze, they moved to form a seamless path that the sorceress climbed gently like bouncing stairs.
Yeah, because building actual stairs was too much trouble.
Together, Gothel and the boulders rose to the tower where Rapunzel greeted her. The prince heard it all.
Yeah, he heard it all, but could he comprehend what was happening? I mean, think about this. Let's see. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. Okay. There's probably some... As you're hearing her hair swashing against the tower, there's some clinking going on. Ding, 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 ding. As I guess she has her hair tied to the key. Why doesn't Gothel have her own key? So there's that. There's swishing. There's clinking. And then there's turn of a keyhole. Okay, that's a very distinct sound. And then boulders floating. What does boulders floating sound like?
I think anything floating has a pretty, no sound.
Unless they're on, like, repulsor lifts or something. And then receding footsteps. No, the prince has no idea what just happened. And I don't know what just happened either. If you have the power to make rocks levitate, why do you turn it into a staircase? I mean, okay, it looks cool. I'll give you that. But why not make it into an elevator? Hey, look, there's a rock. I will stand on it now. Whoop, up I go. Or, I don't know, make friggin' stairs!
How about an escalator?
Add that to the you don't know what that is counter. Ding! Since we got Stinky all up in this house.
Oh, Tony Randall was the gremlin in glasses.
Was he?
Apparently.
Okay, good to know. I think I could do him.
Okay.
That is unlike any tower I've ever heard, he remarked, and the next day, just as it was beginning to get dark, because he knows what light and dark is, he went to the tower and called, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." But when the prince listened for the clink of the key, he heard no sound. So the prince turned his ear to Rapunzel, who he could hear striding down the enchanted stone escalator. Next voice.
Hang on, I've lost track.
Ugh.
John Goodman.
We don't give keys to just anyone, Rapunzel said. My teacher and mentor, Gothel, has had some trouble with thieves in the past, she added with a smile. Of course, how silly of me, said the prince. I am Prince Eustace, and you are? Oh,
Prince Useless.
Yes. Yes. Very good. Prince Useless.
Sorry.
That's terrible, Raven, making fun of the blind like that. Shame on you. Oh, I'm Rapunzel, like the vegetable. So nice to meet you. I'm so taken with your tower. Did you design it yourself? The prince inquired. No, you are not taken with the tower because you can't see it!
He can hear it.
No, he can't!
Aren't you paying attention?
You can say that he heard it all you want, but unless you got speech bubbles in this comic, I ain't believing it! Ugh. Sound effect balloons, pardon me. You know what I meant. Look at this. Does this look like it's making any kind of sound?
I don't know. When it comes up on YouTube, I'll let you know.
Right, pardon me. Frickin' lag. Next voice.
Don Knotts.
I did. Come on in. I'll give you a tour. I'd love that, Eustace beamed. You may not have noticed, but I'm visually impaired. Really?
Oh, God.
Do you mind if I take your arm? No problem. We're just days from a ribbon cutting, Rapunzel said as they ascended to the linked elbows. Or as they ascended with linked elbows. Gothel joined the two at the tower door, and together the three toured the structure. Yeah, of course they did, because it's not like Gothel ever had a problem with intruders or anything. Next voice.
Tommy Wiseau.
I like how you kept the original tower but augmented it to suit your needs, reflected Prince Eustace. As a person who is blind, there are many buildings in my kingdom that I love but that don't work for me. We could use a mind like yours. I'd gladly help you with that. That's sort of how this project got started, really. We were using the tower to help me find out if I have any magic powers, but we were too cramped.
Next voice.
Hank Hill.
Why, it seems obvious to me what your power is, said Eustace. What do you mean? Puzzled Gothel and Rapunzel at once.
That's it. Read the whole rest of the thing. That's Hank Hill.
Can do. Prince Eustace had to keep himself from laughing. You're an exceptional and downright magical architect, he pronounced. Gothel and Rapunzel looked around and then at each other. Of course, said Gothel with a shake of her head. It's been right in front of us this whole time. Rapunzel went red in the face with pleasure. Ugh.
Good grief.
I am sorry, but this is an instance of the art not matching what is written in the story. How can you tell?
Any minute now.
Rapunzel turned out to be one of the most creative and unequivocally magical designers and architects of her time. After the ribbon-cutting ceremony at the tower, Rapunzel went to work for propane and propane accessories for Prince Eustace and others. She improved buildings for the blind, planned a flame-retardant village for fire-breathing creatures, and resized a bridge for trolls. God dang it. She built some of the most famous constructions in Fairyland, including Aurora's public library, for which she was made an honorary princess, the Snow Queen's Winter Sports Complex, and Puss in Boots' Animal Sanctuary. Her firm, A Braid Above, attracted designers and architects the world over, eager to join Rapunzel in pioneering technologies to enrich places and spaces for all. Ugh.
Rapunzel the architect.
Rapunzel, and they're keen to point this out several times, space designer.
Space designer.
Yeah. Because, when you're captured by an evil sorcerer, it's important that you maintain your safe space.
Yes.
Ugh. Final story. The Snow Queen.
Oh boy. Harpo Marx?
I don't know any of the Marx brothers. I'm sorry, people.
Okay. Rin from Rin and Stimpy.
Once upon a time, in a mountain region stood a beautiful palace. In the palace lived the king, queen, and their daughter, Princess Sassy. Sassy loved to explore the vast landscape of the kingdom. There were great frozen lakes, glacial mountains with waterfalls, snow-laden alpine forests, and hidden ice caves glistening with diamond-like icicles. Naturally, she enjoyed many outdoor sports, and this early interest set her on a track to become a great athlete.
Of course.
Bradley says, designer in space!
That would be kind of cool, actually. Rapunzel, space princess. Let down your hair, which can somehow survive coming through the atmosphere.
She keeps them in little buns on either side of her head.
There you go. That's how she keeps it all to herself. Brilliant. Next.
Mr. Threehorn? Don't be afraid to pass.
No, I think I got this.
Okay.
Sissy's partner in fun was her friend from school and neighbor, Alina. Both from snowy mountain kingdoms, the two friends would meet up at the halfway point between their homes. There they practiced archery, zipped down alpine slides, and raced toboggans, shouting, "Yip, zip, skadoo!"
Oh, God.
I would just like to take this moment to point out that rather this story taking place in Norway. Is that where the original tale of the Snow Queen was?
I'm not sure. Or I thought it was Finland.
It was Finland, Norway, somewhere up in northern Europe, because, European author Hans Christian Andersen. Makes sense. This story is being retold with Eskimos, Inuits, some kind of northern tribal people. Do you expect them to say things like, "Yip, zip, skadoo"?
Not usually.
Not usually, no. By all means, speak English through the text for the English audiences out there. That makes sense. Or whatever audience is reading this in whatever publication. But yip, zip, skadoo. I doubt that's a thing.
You don't know. It might be another term for snow.
Yes, of course, that's it. Yes, this is the snow that has girl power in it.
That's right. There you go. Do you know who... You get bonus points from Bradley if you know who Eustace Tilley is.
I get no bonus points from...
no points.
No, sorry. Sorry, I almost finished with this paragraph here, then we'll move on.
Okay.
And spotted one another while mountain climbing. The two friends even had matching scars from slipping on the frozen lake, since neither were very good skaters. Wow, really? You mean they weren't ice skating superstars the second that they put on ice skates from birth? I'm confused. That's not how you girl power. Alright, next voice. Yeah, that'd be a fun story for the Joker. Do you want to know how I got these scars? Ice skating accident. Anyway.
Let's see. Do you know who Prince Longstreet is? Because I do not.
No.
Okay. How about Dick Miller?
Nope, sorry.
Said rest in peace. Sorry.
How many people in
Bullwinkle.
chat do we have, by the way, right now?
6.
As we near the end. Only 6 people. Ugh. I'm sorry,
You gotta
guys.
figure out-
I tried to reach out to as many patrons as possible. I want you guys to watch me.
But they will have access to the replay. Although it's not as much fun as if they were there.
Right.
It is more fun to be there.
It is. It really is. Bullwinkle?
Bullwinkle, yes.
Princess Sissy and Alina went to the same boarding school and would stay up late planning their dream winter play complex. Our dream snow park will cover a whole mountainside, schemed Alina. With state-of-the-art toboggans, Sissy announced. A full-time trail groomer, so the conditions are always perfect. An animal park with a ranger reserve and a place for owl viewing.
Okay. Next voice.
Can you do Liam Neeson's Aslan from Narnia?
I'm not sure how Aslan was different from regular Liam Neeson, but let's see. And a hot chocolate kiosk every mile, they laughed. They also loved making up great jokes, like this gem. Where does a polar bear keep its money? In a snowbank.
God! Great jokes.
Waka waka.
Wow.
Next.
Wow. I know I'm adding someone to my favorite authors list.
But girl power, it's funny!
Yeah,
Just-
he.
Just like the 2016 Ghostbusters were funny.
You can't say anything about that.
No, I can't, but
Yes.
I can still joke about it.
No. No. Because we haven't seen it.
No, we haven't.
That's what we should have had you do this month, Girl Power Month.
Oh, no.
You should have done the remake from the Ghostbusters.
Ugh.
Now, Samurai Jack is anime, is it not?
It is not anime, but I have not seen it.
Okay.
So I don't know Samurai Jack, I'm sorry.
Okay. Mojo Jojo?
Nope.
Nope. I don't know who that is. I don't know who a lot of these people are. You can't judge by me. Ba-dum. He did The Beast earlier, Disney dork. Longstreet was a blind detective as a reference to the Blind Prince. Okay, good to know. So it looks like I am choosing this round, and I choose
Pikachu,
Gomez
I choose
Adams.
you. Sorry, what?
Gomez Adams.
Princess Ceci and Lena thought they'd be best friends forever. Then one day, Princess Ceci was putting her toboggan away in the palace storeroom when something shiny caught her eye. She followed the glint of light and followed a mirror tucked behind a stack of gold paintings and boards. It seemed to draw her in like a magnet, as it said, "Karamia."
Thurston Howell III.
The mirror was extraordinary. It was big enough to reflect a whole figure. Shiny platinum outlined its face and formed a pattern of decorative snowflakes. Princess Ceci balanced the mirror against her knee and leaned in to examine the astonishing handiwork. But as she did so, she slipped on some black ice on the cold stone floor, and the mirror crashed to the ground, sending shards of glass everywhere like a storm of diamonds. "Phew," said Princess Circe, for she didn't think she'd been harmed, but a tiny sliver of the mirror had entered her chest and pierced her heart. And then she died. The end.
There you go.
Girl power.
Do you know who Mr. Plinkett is?
Oh, Lord.
I'll take that as a yes.
I know who Mr. Plinkett is, and I demonstrated his voice to you once before, and he is right up there with Pee-wee and Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, no.
But
You don't have to do it.
they demanded it, and if I can do it, then it must be done.
This one was Matt. Matt.
Love you, that.
From that day on, Princess Ceci was not the same. The splinter in her heart had changed her. The mirror that Ceci found had been created long ago by a cruel troll who had cast a spell that anyone who was struck by its glass would see the world through unkind eyes.
Good grief.
You want some pizza rolls?
Lego Batman.
Ceci lost her sense of humor and her sense of adventure. She complained about everything, from the temperature of food to the softness of linens. She spread her bad mood everywhere she went. Because she's Batman! And she went on bragging about her 9-pack everywhere she went. Yeah, she got a 9-pack, bro.
Good grief. Anthony is thanking Matt for getting the heat off of him. Do you know who Thurl Ravencroft is?
Yes, I do.
When school commenced, Princess Ceci returned to the suite she lived in with her friend and neighbor Alina. As schoolmates, they had shared clothes, stories, and even a potted rosebush that they tended in their common room. Their suite was usually the place to be, and other classmates were always stopping by. They said their suite was great! But with the splinter of glass in her heart, Ceci acted differently. We're dressing up today. Would you like to wear my tiara? Offered Alina. No way! It makes you look like a chandelier. I'd never be seen in that, Ceci snapped.
Ooh, Ceci snapped.
Mm-hmm. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
Pennywise.
I grabbed a milkshake at the canteen, Alina tried later. Want to split it? Gross! Who would want your germs? Was Ceci's retort. Plus, you know those treats are made with troll slap? Alina was confused. What was up with her friend? Alina took to watching her closely. With games, Ceci was a grouch, throwing up a board when things weren't going her way. Ceci accused her classmates of cheating if she lost at tests. At art, she colored on the drawings with her own ink. The nerve! Wah-ha! Wah-ha! Wah-ha!
Oh, God.
At music, she sang loudly over everyone else.
My goodness.
Next.
Ahmed the Dead Terrorist.
At sports, Ceci was the nastiest. She was overly competitive and bitter. Walk it off, she'd yell at inter-skiers on the slopes. Is that the best you can do? She'd say in the hockey locker room. Oh no! This book about girl power has locker room talk! You are losers, Ceci would shout at opposing teams. Next.
Don't go there.
What?
Don't go there.
Next voice.
You do this by yourself. Anyway. Vincent Price.
It's as if ice runs in her veins, the other athlete said, shuddering. Soon Ceci's friends gave up on her, all except Alina, for she knew that buried deep inside Ceci was a good person, her true friend. When the next school break rolled around and no one wanted to include Ceci, Alina invited her to join her family's dog sled race.
The race took them on rustic sleds up frozen rivers, through a snow-covered enchanted garden to a cozy lodge. Sissy pranced around like a princess and threw snowballs at the dogs. Everyone rolled their eyes. In the garden, she complained that Alina's family's ice fountains were much smaller than hers. Again, everyone rolled their eyes. Then, as the starting gun sounded, Sissy jumped on the fastest sled and sped off into the distance. "Eat my dust!" she shouted.
Oh, God. You ready for the next one?
Next one, yes.
Christopher Lee.
Sussy didn't even look back. If she had, she would have seen that moments later a band of thieves descended upon Alina and her family. They were robbed of everything: snacks, supplies, coats, dogs, even their boots. As the family gathered themselves, Alina struggled to stand. She cried out when she tried to walk. The grown-ups ran for help, leaving Alina alone.
What? Here, Alina, guard the sled that was stolen. Hell's going on here?
No one knows.
Next.
Next is...
Next is Sad Kitty.
Oh, no. Not now.
Yo!
Oogie Boogie.
Meanwhile, Princess Sissy pressed on at top speed and arrived gleefully at the finish line. Yes, she roared and went into a showy victory dance. Apparently, she's gonna do the best she can. But no one was there to greet her. "Hey, where is everybody? No trumpets? No parade?" she yelled, looking around. "Doesn't anyone want to shake the hand of a winner?" Next voice. Something bleeped. What'd you say?
Jiminy Cricket.
Jiminy Cricket. No celebration commenced. No awards were given out. Instead, a sign on the the lodge door read, "Race cancelled due to incident. Beware roving bands of thieves." Streaming, Ceci turned to head back. She raced furiously back to the start, hoping to find someone to yell at. Instead, she found Alina collapsed in her path. "Can you believe this stupid race?" Ceci complained. Alina, pale and hurt, with only socks on her feet, tried to answer, but she shook with cold and tears rolled down her cheeks. Something stirred in Ceci's heart. She could see Alina was in real trouble. You mean aside from having no sled to race with? No shoes or anything? Her parents are gone? You think something might be amiss? Wow. Next voice.
Side note to the channel. I just got into this with somebody yesterday. There will be no people associated with Channel Awesome. If you wish to find out why, I know I'm not going to explain it, look up hashtag change the channel on Twitter and educate yourselves.
Sorry, guys.
It's all that needs. If I'm associated with it, no Channel Awesome. Sorry, guys. I too used to love the Cinema Snob until he didn't do the right thing. Anyway, I was getting into it and I said I wasn't going to. Johnny Depp's Mad Hatter.
Sorry, baby.
It's okay.
Cersei approached her friend, took off her mittens, and gently slid them onto Elena's frozen feet. The stirring in Cersei's heart grew. She shrugged out of her coat and wrapped it around Alina's shoulders. The color returned to Alina's face, and with that, the splinter of mirror that had plagued the princess for so long had released, and Cersei began to glow with warmth!
I love the way you do that.
Thank you.
Can you do Bruce?
Can
Can you do Bruce from Finding Nemo?
Ceci sat down her friend and hugged her to keep her warm. I'm sorry, she whispered. I feel like I haven't been myself lately. I knew you were in there somewhere, said Alina, snuggling against Ceci's renewed glow. Friends are friends, not food. Thank you for never giving up on me, Ceci said. I think I know I can repair things, even if given the chance. Ceci explained to Alina her idea to gift the kingdom with a wonderful wintry playground, just like the one they planned as youngsters. Next voice.
Sorry, I have a child stranded at their job.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, yes.
We've got like 2 paragraphs left.
Well, that's like, I can't go get them.
You can't go get them, okay.
Yes, welcome to Oregon's Snowpocalypse 2019.
Sorry.
Jack Benny?
Pass. Final paragraphs of the final story. Let's make it good, people.
That one. I don't think you want to do McGonagall from Harry Potter, do you?
McGonagall.
He's not very familiar with Harry Potter. I've
Wait,
only made him
wait.
watch all of these once.
What's her face? McGonagall is Maggie Smith. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Dame Maggie Smith.
Dame Maggie Smith. Pardon me.
Alina nodded. You'll make a great queen of winter someday. She smiled, grateful to have her friend back. And as winter thawed around them, the two friends looked toward their bright and sunny future. When Ceci became queen, she realized her grand plan and created the Snow Queen Sports Complex. It more than made up for her spell of nastiness. There she coached youngsters on the slopes with a balance of rigor and compassion, and good sportsmanship above all. Ceci's students helped her follow her own coaching rules and became a record-holding athlete herself.
See, it was mentioned before in the last story there with Rapunzel and her architect's exploits and all that. It's the PC Princess shared universe. And last voice. Here we go. What's it going to be? Or is Raven busy talking with her child?
I was talking, I just had forgotten to unmute again. Sorry. I said I'm going to choose the last voice.
Here we go.
Let's see. La 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 la.
Going through her list.
I have such an extensive list. My goodness, you can do a lot of them. Okay, Mr. I Don't Do Girls' Voices. Give us some Harley Quinn.
Touché.
Alina visited every winter to cheer on the ice hockey teams and teach mountaineering first aid. In the evenings, the friends always left time to meet up at one of the dozen hot chocolate kiosks, warm themselves by the fire with mittens on their feet, and shared silly jokes like, knock knock, who's there? Freeze. Freeze who? Freeze a jolly good fellow, freeze a jolly good fellow.
Okay, that one was actually kind of clever. But, oh, hooray, they're friends again. Woo!
Yay, friends.
And yes, good voice to go on, what with the horrible puns and all. So that was but a sample of Power to the Princess. You can all put down your barf bags now.
Oh, really? Girl power!
Hooray! Oh, God.
Unfortunately, we started late, and this has gone on for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
Well, since it was supposed to start, it's actually gone on for 2 hours, which is about what it should be.
Yeah.
But I am going to have to cut out because I have to ensure that my child makes it home from their job.
Yes, and I can...
Which all I can do is from here offer helpful suggestions.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm going to look up a cab company.
And I cannot do this without the aid of my lovely Raven here, so if she's got to leave, then we got to cut this whole stream short.
It's not really short.
Well,
It's
no,
kind of abrupt.
sorry, no. Like, we'll do like Q&A and stuff next time. So
Yeah.
be sure to tune in for the next stream. This was a whole lot of fun, and hopefully we'll read something a little bit more bearable.
And next time we're going to have pre-planned out the live stream. It's not going to have technical difficulties. Darn it.
We can always have dreams.
Thank you, Anthony, but I can't drive. I can't make it out of my parking lot.
No, she is snowed in
I am snowed in.
extensively.
When just over 24 hours with no power.
Yeah, that was
I'm
not
happy to
fun.
have power. I don't care if I'm snowed in now.
Sorry, baby. So, yeah, this was a whole lot of fun, you guys. Thank you for joining us, and we shall see you next month.
Bye.